Hi everyone, I'm Chris Haddon and welcome to the MassNightly Show. I'm your host. For those unfamiliar with MassNightly, we're a website as well as a mobile app. You can search for food and drink specials, live music, and special events all across Massachusetts. Um, my guest today, I have Nick Ciccio to my left, Corey Frill to my far left. Guys, thanks for being here tonight.
No
Thanks for
problem, no
having us.
problem.
And the reason I brought these two in here is because we want to talk about the Boston nightlife scene and um, just as I wouldn't call you guys normal people. You guys are great people. Don't get me wrong. But experiences when you're going out with your friends, and I'm 24, Corey, you're 24, you're 26, and married, happily married.
Happily married.
So, we're gonna get different perspectives from us, from a married man himself, and we're gonna bring you through each portion of Boston here. So, let's dive right into it, guys. What your favorite thing about going out in Boston? You get your friends together. What's your favorite thing?
Going out in Boston is like an event. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You know you're gonna spend money. You know you're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
I live in the suburbs, so it's like half an hour drive in. So you know you gotta celebrate, have
Yep.
a good time.
Exactly.
So whenever I come to Boston, I have a really good time.
Yep.
It's the best part.
Exactly. I'm from north of Boston too, so you come down, it's gonna be an event.
Yeah.
And, you're planning for it.
It's something. It's something that oh, let's just go to Boston. It's not one of those. Not let's just go to Boston. It's hey, Saturday night we're going to
You
Boston.
make a
You
night of
plan
it.
2
For
weeks
us, yeah,
ahead, a week
absolutely,
ahead,
absolutely.
and that's good. So with your buddies, no one really backs out of it. No one really backs out of going to Boston,
Can't.
especially
You
from
can't.
here from the suburbs.
Less
Absolutely
cheap.
not. Absolutely not. But one of the big things maybe people do back out of is because of the beer pricing, um,
Does
beer
cost
and
money.
drink costing. Yeah, I mean, is it is it reasonable? What do you guys think? What's your take on that?
It's it's more expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We make an event of it because we're gonna come once a month. You know what I mean?
So you stack the
I
walls
can't
up.
come every weekend because it does cost more to come
Exactly.
here. You know
Exactly.
What I mean? So when we do come, we do make an event of it because you're gonna spend money. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Everything's more.
Yeah, I think when you come to Boston, I think a lot of people, especially bars, bartenders, stuff like that, events, know you're coming to Boston. So
Yep.
it's a big tourist city. It's a big, very famous city,
Of course.
especially with the sports and everything we have going around. A lot of people are going to be here, and I guess deservedly they can do the
Exactly.
prices the way
Exactly.
they do.
No, exactly, and I think that's where they make their money is from the tourists that come here. In the winter, it's kind of dead around here, but you do definitely stash your wallet away. Hey, we're going to Boston. We're stashing our wallet away, and
Empty the piggy bank.
and you crack the piggy bank open. That's what you got to do. Um, so moving into the next point here, so beer pricing being a little bit higher than usual, um, cover charges, and I know we talked a little bit about before the show about cover charges. Usually, bars and restaurants will have cover charges when there's a live band, when there's an event going on, So, what mark do you think is too much, too little? Have you ever not gone to a bar because of a cover charge?
For me, it's interesting because it has to be something I'm aware of before, because obviously we're coming into the city. We
Yep.
don't live here, maybe not being familiar. I never carry cash,
Yeah,
so it's
I don't
always
either.
like a thing. It's always card for me, so it's always like, oh hey, where are we going? Might take a 40 or take a 20 just to get in,
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it's always something in the back of your mind. If the place is worth, where you're going, you're gonna pay it. You're gonna pay it anyways.
Of course. Yep.
But if it's valued and it pays
So,
its due, then
what
okay.
what would you and your friends? You can speak for your friends too. What mark is too much? Is it $10? Is it $20? I mean, there's some places $15. Is it
I'd say if there's a band, it's anywhere from 10 to 20 because you're supporting them.
okay? Yeah.
If there's
So
no
you're
band,
okay.
I don't want to pay a cover because I'm going to spend a lot of money on drinks anyway.
Exactly.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I don't mind paying a cover if there's a band.
So you want exactly? Yeah.
Anywhere from 10 to 20 just to support them.
Yep. No, that makes perfect sense too because they're busting the tail for you. You might as well throw a couple bucks their way, and
Yeah.
a good portion of that does go to the bands too. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I think $20.
That's
I mean,
max.
exactly. Yeah. That's
Oh,
Massachusetts.
if you're dropping a 20 and you're not getting any change back, then that's when you're like, you give the old the bouncer a double take.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
really?
That's it.
And there are a few places in Boston. I mean, the show is always great too, so it's not. If you're dropping $20, it's not like there goes the $20. There are some great shows in Boston where
Absolutely.
$20 could get you, um, a great show. So you definitely don't want to deny that. But yeah. So moving on here. So and this is gonna get Corey mad over here, but dress codes. I'm not the flyest of dresses. Never been in my life. What do you guys think about that? I know summer and winter are different. A lot of shorts come out there in the summer. A lot of places don't like shorts. They got pants. That's it. They draw a
Exactly.
line, and that's it. So
Exactly. And from my standpoint, it's like you're going with a bunch of your boys. You're going out like 5 or 6, and you know, I have buddies that dress from like GQ down to like Kmart. And you have some kids that are dressed in really nice stuff,
yep.
and I got some buddies that show up in sneakers, and you'll get on the verge of fighting because we can't get into this
I
bar because
know.
you're wearing those stupid sneakers,
Yeah.
and so it's just stuff like that. I don't think it should be as big of a deal as it is. I think it's all atmosphere. I don't think
Of
what you're
course. So.
wearing,
Yep. Yep.
you know, does that.
I
So
think you should be able to wear whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
our buddy Sylvan, his jorts. He loves jorts. They
we,
never let him in anywhere with his jorts.
we,
You know
we
what
have
I'm saying?
we
You
have a
want-
friend that he wears jorts.
Let
and
him wear his jorts.
He's gotten denied several times from wearing
Exactly.
jorts, but I mean, he's a harmless kid. He's not
That's
gonna,
it.
jorts aren't gonna hurt you,
it's probably
buddy.
a confidence to the roof
Yeah,
wearing
that's right.
those.
Absolutely.
And he's gonna buy 10, 12 beers.
He
You know,
is,
he's gonna spend
and
his money.
Exactly.
and that's the thing.
Let 'em
where
in. Let 'em in.
It's the thing is, do you allow that kind of, the jorts in? And like I say, it's harmless. I mean,
Exactly.
clothing. It's it's like I said, it's up in the air. It's a
I say you should be
it's a
able to
hot
wear whatever
topic.
you want unless it's offensive.
You're drinking
You know
beer.
what I'm
If you're not going to if you're not going to a wedding,
saying?
then let's
Well,
let's cut
Wherever
it.
you
I
feel
mean,
comfortable and let's go out and have a good
exactly.
time.
Yep. Yep. I mean, if you go to a nightclub, I can see that
Yeah.
wearing
Yeah,
look
but
for-
it's like
looking
if I'm
nice.
wearing a blazer, am I gonna want to buy 19 drinks? I'm probably feeling like constricted and stuff. I don't think I want that.
Well,
The
I mean that.
martinis and stuff.
Exactly, exactly.
No, it's true, and that exactly. So I mean, you're dressed at a nice place. You're expecting to spend more money, which brings us to our last 2 points of if you're dressed nice, you're expecting to pay more money on beer. You're expecting to pay more money on cover charge.
Exactly.
So we actually, it's funny all this money talk, and we're average guys here, right? We all, we're middle class guys. So
Absolutely.
so what we're doing in Mass Nightly actually next week is we're starting a blog. It will be on dirtywaternews.com, and we're gonna bring $50 to the city on Saturday,
All right.
and we're gonna spend the whole day just with $50. That's it.
All day.
And all day,
All right.
all day. We're not gonna spend any.
What time
no,
you starting at?
We're gonna get here about noon.
Okay.
We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna enjoy the day. We're gonna have
On $50.
on $50.
And dinner.
And dinner.
Okay.
And we're gonna.
You're a cheap date.
Don't kid that. So no, it would be good because we're going to show because immediately when I talk to people from my hometown, it's Boston. You're going to Boston. That must be you spend 100. And we just talked about all the beer pricing's high and everything, but there are places you can hit around the city that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. And for $50, we're going to have a good time. We're going to film everything. We're going to take you through. We'll call it the Mass Nightly tour. We'll bring you from
All right.
I'm
from noon
interested.
to night.
I'm
Yeah,
hooked.
I'll tune in.
Yeah,
For
no,
sure.
exactly. And like I said, you know, is $50 too little? Is it? We try to find that happy
You
medium.
drink like me, it's too little.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
right. Yeah, I guess so.
there are places with dollar beers around.
Depends on the night.
So
Exactly.
50 beers for $1 each. I mean, that could weigh out your day. But yeah. So the next topic I want to jump into is forcing lines, and I know me and Corey had talked about this earlier about I'm not going to name any places specifically, but there are places in Boston that you wait in line for an hour and you get in, the place is empty, and of course it's strategic.
Absolutely.
You make it look
Yeah.
popular. It's all about the business. It's not.
It's because we're males. The females go right there.
Yeah. We like to see the movies like
Right,
that.
right in,
Um,
right in.
Right in.
No, but what do you guys take on that? I mean, have you ever been stuck in a forced line where you get in, you're just like, what? This place is empty. Why am I waiting in line for an hour?
For me, I don't run a bar. I don't know the business. I'm sure that there's definitely a method to the madness.
course.
But it kind of makes you upset. If I'm standing, especially in the winter,
Oh,
because
yeah, when you're freezing.
you
yeah.
come and I never do coat check because I've lost so many
You just
jackets.
you stay in the cold. I'm the same way.
I'm
the
like
same way, yep.
George Costanza. I'm not doing coat check. I'm gonna stand there. Hopefully I'm gonna put on a nice pregame.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait in line. But if I'm going to a bar and I can look inside and I see there's no one in there and I'm waiting 25 minutes, I haven't moved,
Yeah.
then I'm getting irritated and I'm probably not gonna have the same night that I was planning on
Exactly. Yeah.
having.
Because the buzz goes away. and-
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm pulling up my MassNightly app and
There
finding
you
the
go,
next
right.
closest bar, and I'm-
Exactly.
I ain't waiting in
And,
no line.
and some late night apps too.
Exactly. So you keep your buddies there and you guys just rotate back and forth
Exactly.
right while you're
We're
sitting
going.
in line.
We're going.
No, but I mean strategically it is smart to do just because it does draw a crowd.
Creates a buzz.
If
stuff
you're
like that.
going on Thursday night and you see a line at a bar, that place must
You
be
see
hopping.
one place empty, one place a line. You want to go.
You want to go to line. You're not going to
For
go to
sure.
an empty bar. Exactly.
For
So I
sure.
mean, there is strategic. There's a strategic, plan behind it,
Yep.
but like I said, as a patron, as a bar goer, you hate to see it, but it does happen.
Or you're with the wife and it's the winter and she's complaining that it's cold. You go to the next bar.
Of course, and that's a married man speaking right there. That's
Hey.
why we brought him on. He wants to give you the take. Um, so, you drove in today.
Yep.
Corey, you drove here today too. I
Yes.
took the train in, so um, parking's always it's a big topic just because people don't know where to park. I don't want to spend $30 for parking. I know we talked earlier
It's crazy.
about, I got to park in this garage for $30, and
Yep.
$30 is a cover charge and 5, 6 beers.
Absolutely.
And do you really want to spend that? And that's the thing about parking. Do I really want to spend it not to use my car?
That's
it's
why
just sitting there.
coming to Boston's an event. Because
Exactly.
you're going to pay $20 to $40 for parking.
Exactly.
You're going to pay a $20 cover. You're already at $60 right there. You know what I mean? So you got to make an event out of it, have fun, and
Yep.
be prepared.
And here's a hot tip for you. So, people watching here, if you actually go to downtown Boston in like the Faneuil Hall area during the weekend, the place is a ghost town. Street parking.
Street bus.
No one
parking.
thinks to even do it.
No one even thinks to do it because
Wow.
it's all businesses down there. And during the weekend, there's no businesses.
Wow, that's yeah.
So if
You could have told me that before I paid $30.
Yeah, that'd have been nice to know on my ride in here,
Yeah,
Chris.
thanks, buddy.
No,
Thanks.
But that's when because I used to drive the city all the time, and before I started taking the train, and um, I had a buddy. I was like, why don't you just park in Faneuil, like around the Faneuil Hall area? And I didn't even think of it because State Street, all businesses, and Federal Street, all businesses, and there's meter parking, overnight parking down there, and
Wow.
you got to walk a little bit, obviously, because it's all businesses in State Street, but
Juice is worth the squeeze.
the juice is absolutely worth the squeeze. Yes. um, but yeah, is it a night killer? Do you think?
Is it what?
Is it a night killer as far as?
Parking?
Yeah. Is it?
If I have to do every weekend, it is.
Yeah.
$30, $40 a pop.
Yeah.
But I got to do it once a month.
Is that one of those things where the driver just sucks it up and just pays for it, or does he have his buddy chip in?
Oh,
I can't remember the last time I parked with my buddy.
you
Is
have
there
to chip in. Oh, it has to be. You're getting the snake eye. It's not. It's not that.
If you ain't paying, you're buying me
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, so that's great. So, all right, so we hit on Boston a little bit. So now I want to switch to suburbs, and me and Nick are from a small town. You're from a small town, Corey. So,
Yeah.
I want to touch on the suburbs a little bit because Boston is different from the suburbs as far as different amenities. So,
Sure.
what are the biggest differences for you guys when you go to a hometown bar as opposed to when you come to Boston? Is it the people? Is it the drink prices? Is it the
I think Boston bars a lot of the time have like identities. It's like you're going to Howl at the Moon, you're gonna get the dueling band, you're gonna have a great time. You go to
Exactly.
Coogan's, you're getting the $1 beers.
Yep, yep.
You go to West End Johnny's, you're either getting the country night or the '90s night. But back home for me, it's just like I'm gonna go to this bar and I'm gonna see the same people I went to high school with.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
God bless them, but some people you just don't want to run into.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it's really what it breaks down for me. That's why it's like I'd much rather go meet new people.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's some yeah. Because when I go back home, it's
It's kind of a cringe.
Don't get me wrong. I love seeing people back home, but
Of course.
you want to see new faces, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
And especially single man like yourself, you're looking to chase some ladies.
Of course.
How about you? What's the married man? What's the take on this? Buzz around town.
In town, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot cheaper.
So you're living in the Worcester area now. You
I'm
can
living in the Worcester area
Yeah,
now.
okay.
It's a lot cheaper. Take the wife out to dinner, have a couple of drinks.
Yep.
And I'm paying half what I would in Boston.
Of course.
Oh,
Of course. Yeah.
So you can do that every weekend and have fun with it.
Yep. Now, do you see? I'm sure you have your spots you go to in Worcester where you go. Maybe not every night, but you guys go out to dinner. You grab a couple drinks down the street where you live.
Yep.
Is it more regulars? Because I know around here you do see a lot of regulars. I have friends in bars and I see the same people. I'm shaking hands with people that they don't work there. They're regulars, and
There's
it's
a bar
a
next to
great
my house.
atmosphere.
All regulars. Cash
You can give a
only.
shout out. What is it?
JD's Bar.
JD's Bar. Okay.
You walk in there, and if you've never been there, the place stops. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, everyone looks around. The record stops. Yeah.
Towny Bar.
Yeah.
It's cash only. It's definitely a hole in the
Oh,
wall.
it is cash only. Yeah.
But that's Towny Bar.
What is you told me earlier? What is the game they play there with?
The game?
Yeah, with the cash there.
You give $1,
Okay.
and you put 6 dice in a cup, and you gotta get Yahtzee, so all 6 numbers.
Okay.
And if you lose, it goes in a pot, and the pot builds and builds and builds. My buddy Dustin won it. It was like $4,000.
No kidding, huh?
He got like 6 snake eyes and won 4 grand from the pot. It's totally probably illegal, but
Oh,
it's a townie bar.
Yeah,
You know,
like
that's what
Barkino,
that's what you get
yeah,
away
of
with.
course,
Way
absolutely.
down there.
Now,
Yeah,
$4,000.
yeah, it
So
gets up
have
there.
you seen people just sit there and? All right,
you
another
can
dollar.
you can
Another
only
dollar.
do 2 rolls
Oh, that's
per
it?
bartender.
Okay.
So there's
Okay,
people
wow.
that get there at like 4
Yeah.
to roll with one bartender,
And
and then
then
at
they-
6 they roll
they
again
roll
with the
another-
next one.
That's, you know what? I think bars should have more games like that,
That's
though,
it.
because
Absolutely.
that will bring me back. Hey, honey, I gotta go to the bar down quick, get my spins in.
They have
Yeah.
a
Just
putting
$2.
green there.
Do they really?
You got a little putting green. You can putt right there. It's awesome.
That's what I love is diversity in bars. You know,
Yeah.
especially working with MassNightly. You know, a lot of the bars are the same, and that's what you bring up Howl with the Moon. It's great because they're a dueling piano bar, which you don't see a lot of Boston. I can go up there and request a song. I can
Oh, yeah.
write something on the board.
It's always an event. It's always
exactly.
an event.
It's something different as opposed to I'm gonna go down, the street and whack a couple beers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. So, that's great that they have that game there.
It's pretty good.
How many times you go down a day? 2, 3.
My wife's
What time's happy hour?
My wife's there right now. We'll talk about that later.
But I know generally drink prices they do go down when you move outside the city. But I know I was at a BBC. My brother works at the BBC, so I went and visited him, and I was still paying $5-6 a beer. I wasn't getting anything fancy. It was Bud Light. So that's what it brought me up. The question is really the price drinks that much different? But I mean that was a chain.
Yeah,
So
it's a
I
chain.
mean it's one of those things where
It really depends where you go.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's easy. I think once a person steps into a place, you're gonna, especially in the suburbs, because you're driving there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get out of the car. It's a whole big process.
Of course.
Come from a big family, get out of the car, you go in. And obviously, it's just like, all right, well, what? Then you complain about drink prices for 5 minutes. You still order one.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It's what it took to get there.
No, absolutely, and that's the biggest thing is, if you're going to a chain bar, you kind of expect that you're going to pay
pay
chain
that.
prices. Yeah, if you've been to
For the name.
if you've been to a BBC in Falmouth or down the Cape, I know they have one. You're going to pay the same as in Franklin, Massachusetts,
Yep.
Walpole, or wherever the
Up in
locations
Westford, yeah.
are. Yeah, it's the same thing. But if you go to a JD's
Yeah.
in Worcester, down the street,
It's like $2 a beer.
is that what the drink price is? Yeah. So. No, it's great though. I love the Yahtzee.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
Yahtzee,
it. Every bar should have that. Just a game you play where you just throw dice and
Just like a known thing you're gonna get when you go there.
because you got to figure there was 4,000 rolls. It's $1 to play, right?
It's buck a play.
Before someone hit Yahtzee.
Well, think of the odds. Those odds are
Oh, the odds are
brutal.
Is it
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
dice?
6 dice. You have to
That's-
get all of them. If you get 5, you get a free drink. That's it.
They'll probably give
That's
you.
all you give, man.
Man,
5 out of 6 isn't good enough.
that's stiff.
So another point we're going to touch on here is the service. I personally know bartenders in Boston. They're great people. I mean, they're the same people you get in the suburbs and city. I mean, they're rushed a lot more though because people come in the city, they make a night of it. They want their drinks now. Now, give me drinks, as opposed to bars out in the suburbs aren't as busy. You can walk in, slap your
You can make
money
more
on
of
the
a
table.
connection in the suburbs
Of
because it's not
course.
as busy. So
Yep.
you can have conversation. When you're at bars in Boston, it's chaos. They don't know
It
you.
is.
Exactly.
It
the
is.
next person.
Yep. And do you see a lot of that in Chelmsford where you're from, or is it?
No, I mean, obviously it's not going to be the volume that you see here, but it's just like from that perspective, it's just like we're not dumb. You can remember faces.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're in
of course.
Boston enough, you're going to find some bartenders that aren't pleasant, and from my perspective, I remember them.
Yeah.
So and I don't blame you if you're having a rough shift, stuff like that. But you treat me, don't treat me like dirt, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get a nice tip. But I'm not gonna lie that sometimes, well, a bartender will come over to me and I'll just be like, oh, well, I don't really want you to serve me, but
Yeah.
if you do, you're not gonna get a tip.
Of
Because
course.
just because you've been a jerk to me before,
Yeah.
it's just like, there's some people I remember faces.
Exactly. And
I
when
remember
you
faces.
you get your friends and going to Boston, it may not be you don't remember that bartender because you were with your boys and probably more often than not you were pretty drunk. So it's
You had a couple, yeah.
yeah. When you go into your town, it's hey
Yeah.
hey Marie or hey whoever. It's I like it better. I don't know. It's good when you walk into places and people know who you are.
Exactly.
It keeps
Sure.
coming
No,
back.
that
It
is
keeps you
nice.
coming back. It
Yeah,
absolutely
it
does.
is nice.
Absolutely. So let's switch gears here. So we went from Boston to the suburbs. Let's talk about Foxborough.
All right.
Patriot Place.
Oh man, yeah.
Mini Boston right there.
Yeah.
It's funny because I wrote a blog the other day and I dubbed it Mini Boston.
There you
That's,
go. That's Mini
that's
Boston,
exactly what
I'm
I
telling
said was Mini Boston because not only do you have the world's greatest team, New England Patriots there,
World's greatest.
The
World's
world's
greatest.
greatest
World's
beer.
hands down.
TB12, baby.
TB12. So,
Legend.
but they're expanding it tremendously. I know the gambling commission, they turned down the casino that was going to go in there.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of put a halt on things, but CBS seeing Bar Louie,
Toby Keith.
Keith,
They're putting a Howl at the Moon.
they're putting a Howl.
Are they really?
Yeah.
So they're putting. We'll get to that in a minute, but I mean all those big bars. It's people from that area, and we're from that area, from Bellingham. It's do we want
10-minute drive.
Yeah, exactly. Do we want to go to Boston? We can just go to Foxborough. So do you think that's affecting business in Boston, or you think it's kind of a shared thing?
I think eventually it'll catch up because I know now, we were right around that age, like 21, 22, when Toby's opened up.
Yeah.
And, you start seeing those girls at the 21st birthday.
The sashes, yeah, in the crowd.
And they're doing, the pub crawl. They're doing the bus down to the drunk bus down there. And I've been on at least 5 going down there. And obviously it probably takes away business from Boston, but I think Robert Kraft knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
guy definitely
No, he's definitely making that area
a
work.
businessman, yeah.
Exactly, because if I was, of course I'm in the city all the time because of MassNightly, but if I was just going around, I'd toss it up. Do I want to go to? Because those drink prices out there, going back to the drink prices, they're about the same.
Yeah,
So
it's not. Yeah.
do I want a longer drive into Boston, or do I want to stay local and?
It's convenient too because they're so close.
It is.
You can go one to the other. Like I'll start at Bar Louie.
It's
I'll end at Toby Keith.
Oh, for sure.
It's the Patriot Place bar crawl. That's what it is. You just make your ways
right
around.
there, right in a little
Yep,
circle.
yep.
Perfect.
And but yeah, that was the thing I was tossing around in my head was this is becoming mini Boston in a sense because they have all that land across the street as well.
Yep.
So I'd give it 5 to 10 years before.
I give it less than that.
It's becoming a destination spot.
It is. And they got a hotel there too now.
Yeah, I mean, people want to go down there and check it out.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for 3 years now, but it's still going on.
Yep. No, absolutely. And then the last point I just wanted to touch on was, like we said, they are bringing in Howl at the Moon, and a Splitsville.
Yep.
So for those who don't know what Splitsville is, if you've been to Kings or Pins, where we're from.
Yep.
It's a bowling alley with drinks, parties and everything. But they're bringing Howl at the Moon too, which Howl at the Moon is one of the best bars in Boston.
Yeah.
And now you combine it with bowling.
That's awesome. I'm there.
Does it get better than that? And like you said, if you want to go there and bowl, you can go across the street to Bar Louie. You can go down to Toby
Go
Keith's.
see a Pats game.
You can go see a Pats. That would be the ultimate
Drives
day.
you in there, yeah.
That would be.
You can go to Bass Pro, get some fish.
That'd be a week. That'd be a
Javelinos, get some dinner.
Exactly.
A weekend.
Bars right there.
Exactly, and
Watch
that's
Tom.
exactly, and that's what it's becoming, mini Boston.
Yep.
And I like to dub it mini Boston. That's
Absolutely.
exactly what it is. So, be on the lookout for that. Howl at the Moon, Splitsville, opening I believe in the beginning of August.
Awesome.
Wow. For Pat season too. Wow, that's good.
So they'll be up and running the Pat season.
A little pregame over there.
You're gonna get that'd be the great spot to pregame. So you'll get your bowling, you'll get your drinks. You really can't ask for more than that.
Oh, that's perfect.
You really can't. So I'm looking forward to it. But guys, that's about all we have today. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having us, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Once
for sure.
again, Nick Ciccio, Corey Friel. Hopefully these guys will be back on to talk.
Whenever you
As
want.
long as you keep pumping that app, man. We're
That's
gonna
right.
be.
That's right.
We'll
Download
be,
Mass
we'll be on
Nightly,
that. We'll be on that.
Available on the iPhone and the Android. Food and drink specials, live music, special events. Check us out. And that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Have a good one.